What's up, everybody? Or everyone body? I'm only going to have one viewer tonight. I can tell clearly. It's going to be a slow night for the bear. Oh, wait, no, we're up to 5. And don't adjust your view. This hat really does look as good as you think it does. Let's go. Oh, you better know. Oh, I don't have any good news. I'm just in a good mood. Oh, I haven't had the pimp slide in a while. Often imitate. All right. Would you stop that? Your neighbor's gonna think you're crazy. And he would say, but, aren't I? At least a little bit. Blink his eye so fast. My grandfather has a sense of humor. Alexa! Hush! Trash! A little silent drum tonight. Hooray there, bear! Our first comment. MVP tonight goes to Jim Vanderland! I know, right, Jim? Just keep wearing the belt. We'll worry about whose belt it actually is on another day. Now, second place and losing my silver stud, Mark Vargas. But who we lost it to? Third place, my bronze medal goes to Ramiro Woo Castro. Me and Ramiro go too far back. Every time he wins, I can't help but laugh. Just at like the 2 encounters when we went live with each other talking. Just an awesome guy. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I always appreciate you. There for R8RBEAR. Facebook! This is getting interesting. First place, gold medal, world champ, numero uno, El Jefe. Carlos Boykins. Carlos, look at you starting to dominate. Second place, my silver medal goes to that silver-tongued son of a gun, Lucky. It's really just Lucky. Pace! Sometimes I forget and I still say Lucky because I look at his name. Third place, bronze medal. And don't wear this outside because it gets the girls. That is unless you're single. If you're single, it's all good. But I'd find it hard to believe that my guy Hendu is single. No, it can't be true. It can't be true. Mike Henderson, or as I call him affectionately, Hendu. And don't make it weird about the fact that I said affectionately. Guys can be affectionate. I can hug a guy, and it does not mean that we're doing things, for crying out loud. So what's everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I swear we have some stuff about Raider news to talk about. You probably won't like most of it because most of it is gloom and doom, but we're going to get ourselves through it. Even if my friend Bob Standard is here, who keeps poaching players from my A's. Shut up, Bob. And now you got Travis Kelly helping you. And remember, consider a subscription to R8RBEAR family page. It's just $5 a month, and you can cancel at any time. And that's only on Facebook. Now on YouTube, you can view, subscribe, click the little reminder bell, and I'd appreciate it if you hit like, because that helps with the algorithm. Now, let's get to business. Mike Brown! Mike Brown must remember that it's my birthday. I mean, it's not right now. Thank you. I appreciate everyone that wished me a happy birthday. It was actually on the 7th. It went really well. I had the girls and my son, and it went really well. Even one of my neighbors came by and gave me some love, which I thought was really nice, because you know how it is with neighbors. You don't really know each other, you know what I mean? They don't really know me, you know what I mean? They know I love the Raiders. You know, they know I'm a dad. You know, that's about it. So it's nice when they come over and bring you things, so blessings go out to them as well. And appreciate the coinage, Mike Brown. Now, yeah, no, I know, Corinna, I know I'm freezing a little bit. I apologize. I think that will stop. Everyone, yeah, it's an internet thing. Stephen Marchant, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Tony Shepard, what's up? Just be, okay? Accept the knowledge of that post by John Rogers Jr. Be. I know he meant to say bear. Steven Shaw! Appreciate out loud. I really am freezing a lot. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was this bad. I restarted everything, I swear. No, it's not the coaxial cable, Tony Carpenter Evans. Or Cox Cable. Don't make me say their name. I don't like saying their name, okay? It's just my cable company, and they suck. That didn't work either. Cox sucks. I don't know. Sorry. You can't even talk about them without getting into some word conundrum. All right. John Rogers Jr., what's up, man? Welcome to the show. The bronze kind of is like a gold. Jim Garrison, what's up? Welcome to the show. Mike Brown! Great profile picture, bro. Okay, so moving forward, we got a report from Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports. He writes that the recent heated conversation in the Raiders locker who haven't had, for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to hear the whole thing, let me explain. The players called a meeting and they included the coaching staff. So the coaching staff went in for the player meeting. They all had to sit down in the locker room. And some of the Raiders players started to express great concerns about time management, about how and I'm not talking about during games. I'm talking about time management prior to the games, practices, how those practices are structured, the pace of them being slow because the coach isn't up to speed, things like that are not little things. It's affecting the players' performance on the field so much so that they felt like, hey, we need to talk. Okay, so they call this meeting. They go inside. They express their grievances. And now we know why some of the shifting has happened, because we knew that Luke Getsy was probably gone, okay? But it needed to go beyond that. They needed to know that they were going to bring in someone quality, someone with experience. They did that very thing. They brought in a father-son duo where Norv Turner can be the genius working his son Scott on the floor and on the ground level, and then on ground level, and then once he's really got it, I could see Norv Turner leaving us. In fact, it's probably going to be like a 2-year deal. I don't know exactly what they gave Norv. It could be 2 or 3 years possible, or a 4-year, whatever. But whatever it is, he's probably only going to be there for a year, maybe 2, because Norv's son has got it. You know what I mean? He seems like he has it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you remember how Mike Shanahan, and then they trusted his son, who went on to lose many Super Bowls. Sorry, I had to. But he's a good coach, though. He knows how to put a roster together. Shanahan, he's got good plays. He's a genius offensive coordinator, except when it comes time to score. Oh, I hate the Shanahans. I know I've said to you guys over and over again that I was the one that predicted that the Shanahan thing would not work, that he's a bum, and that any guy that has a 28, 25-point lead in a Super Bowl and loses, and I don't care that it was to Tom Brady. You have a 28-point lead against Tom Brady, you got to win that game. You got to bring it home. And then on top of it, he calls plays in a way that stops the clock and allows the Patriots to get back in the game without using their timeouts. Dumb. Oh, but Shanahan's a genius, though. They always look around, the Niner fans, like, what went wrong? Your coach! It's like going to church and blaming it on the minister and everything's going wrong. But it's true. If the minister's going around show saying that Mike Vrabel works for me. Because when Mike Vrabel got his very first job, he clutched it and started winning. And he did it with a team built out of bubble gum, chewing gum, horse wire, and some good rubber bands. And he won games. You know what I mean? I mean, like, won games. He put together a team that played like he would play. You know what I mean? Mike Vrabel gives me Mike Ditka vibes. You know what I mean? He's just one of those guys that other guys are going to go, you know what? I'm going to run through a wall for that guy. You know what I mean? There are people like that. Apparently right now, AP is no longer like that. The roster is not happy at all. They just feel like things are being done in an unprofessional manner. And I feel like the player's rookie coach, learning his way through the ropes, It's a fairy tale to think that our coach would just drop right in and everything will work out. You know what I mean? Even John Gruden couldn't do that. And, he was a veteran coach of decades of, football. And, he couldn't do that. He came in and there were some headaches. There were some problems, and he had to try to, cope with those. And so any coach, usually just about any coach is going to have a certain amount of problems. But we'll see how that goes moving forward. Because I think they're going to give AP at least one more year. I think they're going to give him at least one more year. I realize there's enough reason already that we've seen that you could argue. Like, first, for example, when he started talking about players making business decisions, first, he shouldn't have talked about it. He would have won the team over even more so if he would have called a few of the players in. Say, like, 5 guys. but you really only want to talk to 2 of them. So the other 3 guys can go, hey, you know, he called us in to talk about this. He didn't bring it up in the locker room. He didn't give it to the press. He's just calling us up here. So it'd be like if you had a problem, like he did with Cody Whitehair. He had a problem with Cody Whitehair at left guard. Now, imagine if he called Cody Whitehair up to a meeting, and Colton Miller is there, and Parham is there, and Jackson Powers Johnson's there, you know what I mean? And they're all trying to say to him, look, man, Coach Bear is just saying to you gotta, Cody, you gotta pick up your game. You know what I mean? You look good at practice. Everything looked right. We looked like we were going to go out there and dominate, and now we can't get you off the ground. You know what I mean? At least his career going, you know, better for him. But yeah, I like Bill Cox. I like the idea of Mike Vrabel. I really do. The season seems lost. I'm just watching your show. I don't have any questions or concerns tonight. Just want to beat the Queefs the day after Thanksgiving. Let's go Raiders. I'm kind of hoping that the day after Thanksgiving game against the Chiefs, I'm kind of hoping they're still undefeated. I know you know where I'm going. Would that not cap this season off? Fine, we're going to have a bad year. We're going to have to rebuild some more next year. Fine. But couldn't we just, you know, just thumb him in the eye one time real good and give him a little elbow downstairs and win the game by a field goal? I'm sorry, look, you guys must know what's going on. Come on. This would be 3 Super Bowls in a row, but that's not it. You can pipe the icing on top of that with an undefeated season. If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm ordering it. I'm for it. And if you're not going for it, you need to get with another roster. Because we don't just want a three-peat. We want a perfect season three-peat. And I hate to say this, but if they do that, you'd have to argue they've taken the heat from Tom Brady. Tom Brady was being lauded as the greatest ever, the winningest Super Bowl player ever with his winning coach, and blah, 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 all this love. And they were acting like the greatest legacy that's ever come out of the NFL now seems to be the Patriots. Well, if the Chiefs do what they're talking about doing, if they can win this 3rd win in a row and do it undefeated, you wouldn't even they wouldn't even talk about Tom Brady anymore. They wouldn't. Because in order to get 3 in a row, you have to have a hell of a quarterback, and all they're going to do is talk about Patrick Mahomes. And he's going to become the new face of the NFL. And they're just going to erase Tom from it. So there's some positive in it. Okay, let me see. What do you mean we'll decide whose belt it is later? It's mine. Well done, Jim. Shanahan screwed up the 49ers Super Bowl last year. He's a clown when it comes to the big games. Jim Garrison, I've never seen a guy. I've never seen this. I've never seen a coach at any level that wanted to win his way even though they're winning. You heard me right. He'll win games and be disappointed. Seen him talk about it in interviews, and it's not, oh, we need to tighten up our execution, oh, we need to get our guys off and on the field fast. No, it's nothing technical like that. He just basically says we had to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball, and we're a passing high octane offense, and so if we're going to win games moving forward, we got to get our passing game going. Now this was about 2. And they had been running offense. It was like week 6, and the Niners had ran for more yards than any team in football, and they didn't even have a running back. That Christian McCaffrey kid was hurt. Another guy was hurt, and then they had to move Deebo Samuels, a wide receiver, to running back, and he was getting yards. And it's not because they have all these great running backs. Think they had all these guys just Joe Blows, and they just kept putting them at running back, and they all get yards because it's a system and the way he runs it. He's smart. Accepting that you don't have to throw the ball more than you run it to win. You don't have to throw all the time. Should have stayed in Oakland. Mark Davis, Hooker, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. I gotta tell you, that's a great profile picture. I know that movie, I just can't remember it with the little redhead kid. Excuse me. I would say this, Mark. It wasn't meant for Oakland to keep the Raiders. It just wasn't, because there were enough powerful, rich people that could have done it, But then every time they would look at the city of Oakland and its infrastructure base and within the city, in other words, how many other entertainment things are in that area that make it worthwhile for me to buy the players and the team and the roster and the logo and all that's mine, when there's nothing else around it that draws anything. They don't really use the concert space because most artists don't want to play there because it's kind of a rundown place. So you would have to get the place either all rebuilt, demolished and rebuilt, and then Oakland's police department has been in shambles for 15 years now, at least. It's probably longer than that. But I have some people in Oakland and within the government that I talk to a lot. And all they basically ever said to me is, people can talk about Mark Davis and the coaches and the Raiders all they want. Oakland was never going to be able to really keep them. Even if Mark Davis had said, yep, I'm not going anywhere, I'm digging my roots into Oakland, Oakland would have pushed him out. I'm serious. And they would have done it on the quiet because the people who would be doing it are basically people who have to run for their jobs. So they're not going to let the people of Oakland know they're doing it, but they were doing it. And so Oakland can't take care of itself right now. Hello! Okay, so, hi, Silver Bell. Hi, Tommy. We are a mess, Mark. We are. We are a mess. It's because instead of doing a rebuild, we tried to do a soft rebuild and just try to change out the quarterback and get enough play from that position and get a young one out of college, and none of it worked out. We didn't get the veteran we wanted. We didn't get the young player that we wanted. And so, yeah, that stopped the hot rebuild for Antonio because AP was supposed to be getting a hot rebuild. Give him that. Let him push with it, But it was an all-or-nothing bet for AP. It was win like this. At the very least, show that the players have a spine and are going to play hard, even if they do know that this could be a lost season because they haven't been able to get the quarterback play right. And we've seen that deteriorate because the locker room. I'm not gonna go as far as saying AP's lost the locker room, but it's shaky. It's shaky. Eric Bell said, dude, the league wants that too. Eric, honestly, they do, because they know that as great as Brady is, his legacy is tainted. And like, with scandal on top of scandal on top of scandal on top of scandal. You know what I mean? And they still never really went into blood testing him. Because while he was talking about the TB12 system and all that, you don't need... What else could there be in the TB12 system when he had that little rodent doctor of his running around acting like he was a massage therapist? No, that was the guy holding needles, man. I'm telling you, Tom was cheating. He was cheating. They let him get away with it because they couldn't wrap him up in all that mess. He became Trump of football. He got too big to take him down because if you take him down, it taints the league at the same time. And there wouldn't be enough people that hate Tom Brady. There wouldn't. There's Raider Nation, and some other fans, but the majority of the fans do recognize him as the best quarterback ever. I completely disagree with that, but it is pretty much the masses would say that. Erasing Brady is a good thing, but the combination of the Chiefs getting a three-peat and a perfect season to do that, oh, hell no, that can't happen. Jim, we're not in a position to do anything about it. And when they won their first one, that should have fired a flare across the Raiders' battleship deck for Mark Davis, our captain, to see and then put our ship into military mode. In other words, speed up this process of move guys, get picks, get a GM that's smart. We did those things, but then some of Tom Telesco's picks ended up being what he had to take instead of what he wanted to take. And when you have that happen, there's no way you can really know exactly how your roster is going to turn out, and now you see what we have here. Hi everyone, my name is Corinna and I watched the Denver and the KC game and I did root for both teams. My mama is in heaven. Mwah. Loved Denver and my daddy in heaven loved the Chiefs. Oh, that's cool. No, Corinna, that's cool. You don't have to explain that. You know what I mean? I get it. But no, if your mom had love for him, my dad liked the Niners. He did. knew I did. The first time I found a Niner hat in his bedroom, I'm all, Dad! He actually liked him way back when he was a kid. He's just one of those guys that's kind of like a fair weather fan. You know, he watches and he does it. He goes back and forth. So it's no big deal. Right, I like that. Speaking of our quarterback. Steeler Val, what's up, love? Welcome to the show. She said hi to Miss Corinna. Lucky, what's up? We're the new profile picture. I like that. We're the only team without a true QB1 and now without a true wide receiver 1. Can't judge AP as a coach till he has a whole squad. Well, Lucky, as usual, great post, but I would argue with that because remember, the players are arguing about personnel things, about how the coaching staff is working. That's not X's and O's. That's not wins and losses. That is this coaching staff competent, professional, and utilizing the time for practice and the players getting better effectively? And the answer is no, according to quite a few players who are basically saying, when you threw us under the bus and talked about business decisions and had all of the press and all the fans, not just Raider fans, but all the fans wondering who the hell he was talking about, they had to go through that. Not just coach, because Coach AP just say no comment. You know, players can't do that. They gotta say something, or the press, you know, the reporters roast him. You know, I think he had some. I think he's going through some learning curve issues, and we either accept the baby or we don't. You know, because it's a baby. You know, we're either bringing it back to the orphanage or we're hanging in there. That was a terrible analogy. Edgar, Lucky Dilly. Oh, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Appreciate the birthday love. Had a great day. Ellis Irving, how are you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Okay, so moving forward. So we moved on from Luke Getsy. We brought in Norv Turner and his son. How is that better? The reason it's better is because Norv Turner has forgotten more football than a lot of coaches will ever learn. And I have stories I could tell you. I gave you one last week, but basically the former quarterback of Alex Smith of the Niners was a bust. Okay, coming out of college, a lot of people thought he was going to be a Joe Montana. Now, he wasn't bad, but he obviously wasn't a Joe Montana. He was barely a starter. Okay, now fast forward late in his career, he was doing some struggling. It was like years 5 or 6 of his career. Here comes Norv Turner to the Niners, and Alex Smith suddenly has the best season of his life. And then at the end of that season, Alex Smith, and I saw the video myself, swear to God, he said, and I quote, I made it and I'm better because of Norv Turner. And you never hear players say that. They say God helped me. They say their mom, their family, you know, my teammates. But you never, and if you do, you're pretty brief with it. It's usually the head coach, that kind of thing. No, he's talking about a quarterback's coach. He wasn't even the offensive coordinator. He was the quarterback's coach, just assigned to help the quarterbacks. And when Alex Smith met Norv Turner, his interceptions went down, his yards and touchdowns all went up, you know, and he begged the Niners. I mean, he literally begged them on camera to re-sign him, and they didn't. And they didn't sign him in the following year. He had a terrible year. Alex Smith, I mean. So I'm glad to see him because I'm thinking about what he could do for AOC. I know that he could make some hay with Gardner Minshew because we didn't have a quarterback whisperer. Now we have a quarterback whisperer. You know what I mean? We can bring in different guys that are offensive coordinators, but you need a guy that's kind of a coach's coach with the quarterback. Otherwise, you know, you have to have a very, very talented quarterback. Otherwise, he needs that coach. You know what I mean? That's why you saw Baker Mayfield. He's been bouncing all over the place. But as soon as Baker Mayfield finally got to the Buccaneers, he saw success. And you saw signs of that when Baker Mayfield flew on a plane, landed in Los Angeles to play for the Rams, was there for 5 minutes and had plays written on a cocktail napkin, and then it's so embarrassing. And then walked out onto the field and beat the piss out of the Raiders. It wasn't even close. It wasn't a big high-scoring thing or anything, but it wasn't even close. We got shellacked. Okay, so let me go back over here now. Those pesky Dolphins coming up. We got those pesky Dolphins. You never really know what you're going to get from the Dolphins. They have this explosive offense. They have this young coach. And their quarterback gets bashed up, and he's got all these concussions, and the league is worried because everyone knows about Tua. They've kind of made Tua like the face of CTE all of a sudden, and we don't even know if he had it. Have you noticed that? They're talking about it, and they bring it all up, and it's always, oh yeah, that guy Tua. We're worried. Let Tua worry about his own business. I mean, I'm just saying this honestly, and I don't want to make anyone mad. I just want an opinion. Anyone wants to give me an opinion on this, feel free. But here's the question. Is it bad that I'm not all, we got to, work on the NFL because of CTE? I don't really care if they keep making the helmets better. They did, and they're doing that, and I think that's great. But whether they're doing it or not doing it, I don't care. Because the helmets we have now already not only are state of the art, not only protect the players, but there's only so much technology you can put in a helmet. It's a helmet. So we're going to pad it some more. Whoa. We have this Cadillac foam. Whoa. And we have this new styrofoam. Whoa. Yeah, there's only so much. Whoa. I just want to do it more time. There's only so much of that you can do. You know what I mean? And we see now they've even got another, thing that they wrap around the outside that's supposed to do what exactly? It just looks like spandex. Doesn't really even look like it's any padding. Well, I mean, I'm sure it is, but it just doesn't look at it. But anyway, long story short, think of how many CTE cases we've had and how many players we've kill anyone. They don't kill themselves. They don't go crazy. They don't get Alzheimer's. They live long, healthy lives and die. Look at Bradshaw. I mean, Bradshaw used to get creamed constantly. Now he's starting to look like he has CTE. I bet you. And Terry Bradshaw, he is a bum, and he's lived a brilliant life, and it was stolen from most other guys because he would throw 5 interceptions sometimes in one game, and his defense was so good they'd still win the game. That's a God's honest truth. Look it up. He would throw 5 interceptions sometimes in one game, and they would still win. That's unheard of. He sucked. Bradshaw sucked. I don't care what his numbers look like. He was garbage. Patrick Ramos, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Oh, I like that profile picture. She's lovely. Jesse Parker, my fashion designer. What's up, man? Forget Minshew, Bradley, and Rudder are on the future until we draft one. Well, I'm not really so much thinking about Minshew, John. Welcome to the show, as always. And I also said I didn't think we were going to see Uncle Rico anymore. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Ritter or Bradley the rest of the way. And that's if AOC's thumb doesn't get right. If AOC's thumb gets right, they'll probably put him back out there. But I think we've seen the last of Gardner Minshew. And that's with respect to him. Everywhere he's been, he's played well. So if he finally goes to a team and he doesn't play well, there's a denominator there. It's us. I want to see him go somewhere else and play well again. If he does that, then it's on us. Because everywhere he's gone so far, he's won except us. Or, well, not won, but I mean, played well. Except for us. Herman Gonzalez Jr., what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. How do you think we'll do for the next years? I know it's too dawn to say, but your opinion matters. Oh, right on, man. I appreciate that. All right, well, here's my opinion, and this is the God's honest truth. I think that we can get a quarterback next year, and I think that he'll be good enough for us to win with. Because, see, the whole Cam Ward kind of mentality or momentum seems to be growing. I'm hearing more and more about Cam Ward. And so usually when you hear reporters talking a lot about Cam Ward or, well, a specific player, usually it's because they have the ear of someone on the roster, and that person's been saying to them, yeah, the Raiders are going to try and get Cam Ward. And then suddenly the press goes, hey, the Raiders would look really good if they had Cam Ward, And you're hearing more and more of that. I'm seeing more and more of that. And when I've reached out to people I know and asked the question, I've had them come back with the Raiders wouldn't mind that happening. And so if we end up getting him, cool. If we don't, you got to figure we're going to try to get one of the big names. I know a lot of Raider Nation is uninterested in Shedeur Sanders, and I can understand that. But I think the part of the reason that you don't like Shedeur Sanders is because of the Deion Sanders thing. And also because of how you've seen him play in college. Okay, so I've had guys come to me and just say, Bear, he can't do this, and he can't do this, and he can't do this. He does things well, but he does too many of these things poorly. And it could lead to turnovers, and I get all that. But here's what I try to say to anyone when they start trying to talk about a quarterback. We have to remember that quarterbacks that come from the college ranks to the NFL are just clay, molded clay, okay? And when we start spinning that molded clay and we pour water on it and we start shaping it into a beautiful vase, that's the NFL and a winner. Okay? If you're starting to shape it and it breaks, that's Tua. So you put it all back together, you slap the mud back on, you slather it back together, hit it with some more water, you start shaping it up and it breaks again. Now you know it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Now, see, we got to see what Shedeur or whoever we bring in has before we can judge them by what we've seen them do. Because as we all know, C.J. Stroud has come into the league and transformed. He looks better than he did at college. And legit players who down deep have that ability in them stand out and show and prove. But we got to find that guy. And I don't know if it's Shedeur Sanders. I just know that he has the athletic ability to potentially become one of those guys. I see potentially another Jaden Daniels. And, obviously we're all bummed about the Jaden Daniels thing. He's looking like he's, going to possibly be quarterback rookie of the year. The offense in Washington has taken off with his stewardship, and, that was the guy we wanted. That was the guy that AP said loudly, I want that guy. So, tough. How do you think we'll do for next year's draft? I know it's too early to tell, but what's your opinion? Well, we'll be inside the top 10. That's the only reason I'm saying that is because I just don't know what's going to happen between now and the draft. But I've heard people say we're going to pick as low as within 6th, so 5 or less. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we could be in 5. We could be in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we could be in there. Now, if we're inside the top 5, we should get a guy. We should be able to get a guy. Maybe not necessarily the guy we want again, but someone will be there. Now, when you pick at 5, and there's at least 3 to 4 quarterbacks available, I would say there's at least 3 to 4. When you consider the guy from Georgia, when you consider the guy from, is it Texas or Tennessee, Quinn Ewers, and then Shedeur Sanders, and then Cam Ward. That's 4 right there. Now, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 other guys out there, without me naming their names, I apologize. But there's going to be at least 2 or 3 more quarterbacks out there that are legit guys that may not have the same stats as some other college quarterbacks, but they have the physical intangibles, 6'3", 6'4", 210, 15 pounds, big arm, smart, does well on the Wonderlic, that kind of thing. You find that guy. I hate to keep using this name because I went from hating him to respecting him. But Baker Mayfield is the example of what I'm talking about. He has everything it takes. And he looks like he's a loser because he's been to a bunch of different teams and he's been losing. But every time you see him out there and you really watch him play, he's a warrior, man. I give him credit. The guy's a warrior. I would take him right now. I really would. Not because I'd want him to be our permanent quarterback, but if it was like for the next 2 years, bring him in. Here's Gardner Minshew, Buccaneers. Give him to us. You know what I mean? It would be on. I would give him the Bucks I would give him Uncle Rico and a pick and get him out of there. Because he to me, he looks like a real quarterback. His only problem is he needs to have a team keep the faith in him. Because he does make mistakes. You know what I mean? It's the NFL. It's the highest, degree of difficulty there could be. So we're going to hold it against him if he throws a pick when we know these are the best cornerbacks in the country, cycled in year after year after year after year, these top 10 quality guys. You know what I mean? Look at what we're getting from Jacorian Bennett. Is Jacorian Bennett shutting everyone down? No, but has he obviously made a massive leap from where he was as a rookie to now? Yes. So that gives you every indication that next season he'll have another education loop where his mind catches up to his physical abilities. And once that happens, he will be a shutdown guy. Did I hesitate? No, I did not. And I usually do because I don't want to come off like, just rah-rah guy. But I'm telling you right now, Jacorian Bennett next year, is going to be boss hog. And him and Jones, if we keep Jones, it's going to be a nasty secondary. It really will. Now, to me, see, I do think we have a soft rebuild. We already have the run stopping in the middle. We don't have the best guys, but if we wanted to move an Adam Butler or someone like that, although Adam Butler's been playing well, John Jenkins, guys like that, if we really wanted to do that, we could do that. But I think their play on the defensive line has been decent. If we can just get more help at defensive end and mix that in with what Max Crosby's given us, we would shut the run down. Because remember, those guys, you can't block those guys. If you block our defensive linemen, then now when linebackers have a shot at a running back, a wide receiver or a tight end can just run right at them and get big blocks. But if the linebacker sees the running back, sees those plays, and can get in there, and the offensive lineman is occupied with a great defensive lineman, great defensive tackle, they can shoot in the gaps and make plays. And that was how Ray Lewis, legendary Hall of Fame linebacker for the Ravens, made a living. Was shooting gaps, and his guys would always keep him clean. And when he hit the gap, he would, the A gap or the B gap, he would see the running back straight on his eyes and be like, "Come here," and it'd be like a rhino hit the truck. Except Ray Lewis was the rhino, and the truck stopped. If you can't tell, I had a whole life. Oh, that's nice, Patrick Ramos. That's nice. I know how that feels. I'm a daughter dad myself. Bear, a friend of mine, has the theory that the reason there are more injuries like CTE showing up today is precisely because of the improvement in the padding. His logic is that didn't seem to be this many back in, say, the 70s, because back then, if you hit somebody hard, you also felt it. But if you put people in body armor, they're going to hit even harder. Yeah, like we wrap these cars in airbags all the way around, and you tell a 19, 20-year-old that, and they've got a souped-up car, they're going to go fast because they're not going to be as scared because, tickets aren't the only thing that are going to prevent kids from doing things like that. And they see these airbags and they see how safe their car is, and they go out there and they race around. They figure if they total their car, they'll just get another one. The arrogance of youth. There's really nothing you can do about it. If there was, older people would have fixed younger people a long time ago. But there is no formula, because young people don't like older people and older people don't like young people. It's just facts. I'm one of the few that kind of walks in both worlds. And I've, helped a few kids in my life. I've had more than a handful of young men and young women, come give me one of those round your neck hugs like I saved their life. Told me, hey, because of what you said, I did this. But it's rare. It's rare. Dietrich Sorrell said, laugh out loud. Nah, it will be Shedeur Sanders. Well, Dietrich, welcome to the show. And I'm not necessarily saying that I don't want it to be Shedeur. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that other people should stop saying that, because all you should be looking for in a quarterback is, does he have fundamental tools to come in and then learn and be great at that level? When, let's be honest, the God's honest truth is this. NFL football is more complicated and way faster than college football. Now, most people think of the power and how big the guys are and things like that. It's not that. There's college guys that are big, okay? They come into the NFL, they join the gyms, the professional workouts, the professional instructors in their gyms, and they gain size and strength. It's not about that. It's speed and knowledge of the game. You have to know your playbook front to back. That's offense and defense. And then you must be in tip-top shape, you must stay healthy, and you must be fast. And if you look at any position, defensive end, defensive tackle, quarterback, safety, wide receiver, running back, it's speed. It's speed that makes a difference. That's why Jacorian Bennett's already making a difference, because he's still learning, but he got that Ferrari speed in his legs. And if you have that, you can still be there on a play, just get your head around and no flag. You know what I mean? He's already showing it, so... But as far as Shedeur, I agree. I think Shedeur has all the athletic tools you need. And look at Jaden Williams, look at Jaden Daniels. I mean, he's not playing the same way he was in college. He's acclimated himself to their system, and he's getting the ball out of his hands quick. his tools, and you can get the ball out of his hand fast. You're not getting him banged around. You're on your way to maybe winning one. Bear, who do you think the best quarterback ever is? The best quarterback ever. Well, before I say anything, I'm going to say Warren Moon. Because I always felt, and Warren Moon beat women, and he was a jerk, and don't get me wrong, he had a lot of O.J. Simpson in him, but Warren Moon played in the Canadian League and won like 4 Super Bowls in the Canadian League, something crazy like that, and broke all their passing records. He was just a stud. And then he gets to the NFL, they don't really want to give him a chance, and then by the time when they finally did, he innovated the league with what was called the quick run shoot offense, where they would put out 4 guys on every single play. And every single play there'd be someone open, and he would just zing, zing, zing. And so I hate that he was such a terrible guy, but man, that guy could play. And then Doug Williams, that's another one. Sorry, I'm sitting on black quarterbacks. Best ever. I mean, I love what Kenny Stabler did, but he just didn't win enough rings. I thought Rich Gannon was nice, but had he finished that Super Bowl in 2001, we could be talking about him. But I probably would still put Joe Montana up there. I just don't consider Tom Brady legitimate because he cheated too much. He did. You know what I mean? Whether it was on this thing or this thing or this thing, who cares? He cheated. We know that. Period. He cheated. At least 3 times, confirmed by the NFL. Whether the other ones, like Deflategate and all that, were his fault, who knows? But the point is you can't have that many scandals around you and expect me to say definitively you're the best. I don't give a damn if he's got 25 rings. Sanders is a pocket passer until he needs to scramble. Yeah, and honestly, I think the input that his father can put on him, I think that makes a huge asset to him. We can't just see Deion Sanders and the flash, the arrogance, the glasses, the neck chains, and the Mercedes golf cart and all that. We can't get caught up in all that. He does those things as who he is, and it hides his thoughts from others, because all you see is the brashness, all you see is the cockiness, and you never think that guy could be a great coach. He's out there calling plays, his players listen to him, you know what I mean? He's had the players and the locker room since day one, never lost it, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, I don't like putting down what Sanders is doing, because I've heard other people do it, and I don't agree with that. I think that for it being one of his, I think it is his first coaching job. It's pretty impressive. Look at Chris Olave. He has more concussions than Tua over the last 3 years, and nobody's talking about him like Tua. Well, Lucky, that's what tells you that it's propaganda. The NFL wants to put Tua out so that you, me, women, and other fans will say, oh, good job, NFL. Way to look out for Tua's life and his long-term health. Way to go, NFL. Okay, well, what about, Chris Olave? Well, he's just Chris Olave. Nobody. Don't get me wrong. I know Chris Olave's got a name for himself with the Saints, but he's Chris Olave. He ain't nobody. He's just a decent little wide receiver. Let's not get carried away. Greetings, Raider Bear. I just walked in the door from DC. An upheaval there, but I had a good day, and I might be able to retire within the next 6 months. Damn, Doc, that's great. Way to go. And as far as the stuff going on in Washington, I don't even know about it. I don't even know about it. As soon as I saw who won, I'm out. You know what I mean? I turned the TV off and haven't turned it on since. God's honest. God's honest. I watch YouTube news about the Warriors and the Raiders and other things like that. I'm out. We let a supervillain win, whether you agree with his stuff or not. It's not good. Steven Shaw and pinky out for my friend all the way overseas from the land. Appreciate you, KB. Always there. Not do mean. Always there for Raider Bear. Kenny If there was ever anyone that I would travel to meet, it would be you, brother. I mean that. You really, I mean like since day one you've been around the bear. And I would really love to make it out your way and meet you one day. Sanders is who we need. Forget the rest. If he's gone when we get Travis Hunter. Okay. Do you think the Jets will have a fire sale? If so, who should we go after? I'm not really interested in anybody on the Jets, and I mean that seriously. Well, I mean defensive players. If there was defensive guys, maybe defensive guys, but not anybody on their offense. Even that Bryce Hall kid. I'm all right. Bear, do you like the post I tagged you in about Okay. I don't like you, Bob. Okay. I hope Casey Stannard is watching. Casey, you need to get a hold of your man. Whoops. Always had beef on the defensive line to open up lanes for him to that big Siragusa. Used to piss me off. The Ravens definitely know how to put a good defense together. Yeah, Tim, we can talk about what... But yeah, you get the diehard Raiders are like, what? Don't give me any compliments while the Ravens. Sorry, guys. Why are there so many bad teams in the NFL this year? This is the long-term effect of the change they've made with practices. A lot of the players weren't happy with the length of practices going down, although they voted for that. They thought at first, oh yeah, less, practice. It makes a less hard, less prepared player. You know what I mean? And let's be honest, the only thing that gets you ready for high-level football is high-level football. And you do that at practice, banging shoulders with guys, getting a big thing of Gatorade and water, and then going out there and do it again. Run a play as fast as you can, give them a little shake, go left, catch ball, take it to the house. I mean, really practice, and we're not seeing that now. We're not seeing that. That's why you're seeing so many practices closed there, but not like it used to. It's because even the press is noticing, hey man, these guys the workouts aren't there. Yeah, I did the same thing, Jesse, but you're a Notre Dame fan. You're biased. Jamarcus Russell was the number one pick of the Panthers quarterbacks. Number one, just pick the best available player. If anything, go after Sam Darnold. John, the Vikings already had everything in place. And so when they brought in Sam Darnold, he was coming from the Niners system, which mirrors the Minnesota Vikings. Their offenses mirror one another. So for Sam Darnold to go there, it's like, oh, I know this offense. And then that's why the Vikings just hit the ground running. Excuse me. So don't get me wrong, I like him. I like how Sam Darnold has transformed himself because obviously he was the red-headed, laughing stock of the league for a little while there. Stole the title from Andy Dalton. But I still think it would be a good fit for us. We would have to have the right offense, the right coordinator, that can get right with him. Now, Norv Turner, man, see, now I don't know, now that I think about Norv being there, that might work. I changed my mind. You might be right on that one. Because Norv really is a quarterback whisperer. And since he's just, if we hadn't gotten him and we were still dealing with this Luke Getsy stuff, I'd say no way. No way. But now, with us having Norv, a guy who really knows how to get into a quarterback's head and say, what is it that makes you feel safer? What is it that makes you more comfortable? Do you like to roll out? Do you like to get the ball from the shotgun? Do you like play action? Do you prefer to run the first couple downs and then get a couple throws in? And he'll then work around that to make it work with the offense. And personally, I'd like to see that. I hope it works. Alexa, resume! Listen to her learn how to speak. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran, hat included. Much love. Appreciate you all. Don't miss me tomorrow. I will be on again, and I will get right to the end of my show that night because I don't have to pick up my daughter tomorrow night. Much love. I'll see you soon. R8RBEAR family page. Peace. Peace.